guys, it's Caitlin Parker. Today's video is gonna be kind of different. It's gonna be kind of an update for you guys. I had something happen to me and I kind of just want to talk about it. It's gonna be kind of like a pulmonary hypertension awareness video. I've been laying in my bed for the whole day and I don't really feel like moving. This is not really the most attractive view, but it is what it is. I feel like this is important to talk about, and so that's why I'm making it. It's not because I want you guys to feel sorry for me. It's because I was genuinely scared and I just felt like I just needed to talk about it. I'm sorry, this video is going to be kind of all over the place with my anxiety and depression. Whenever I talk about something, I can't really focus on a specific thought. So I'm just going to start out. I'm already crying. Oh my God. It's gonna be a long one. As you guys can see by the title, I did pass out and I blacked out after a delivery, and I just wanted to talk about it and talk about my experience about it. So here we go. It was at 4:30 and I don't really remember much of the event, but I remember that I got out of my car and I went to the house. I delivered the pizza, and then on my way back to my car, I just remember walking to my car and getting to my door, and and then after that I just blacked out, and I thought that I opened the door, but I didn't. And what happened was, so I got to my car and I just remember feeling extremely lightheaded and dizzy. And now normally during my deliveries I do get like that, but I just kind of like stand by my car and I just kind of take a few deep breaths and get my heart rate to lower. But then all of a sudden, I just remember my head just throbbing, like, what just happened? And that's when I blacked out. And then I remember the girl coming and asking me if I was okay. And then that's when I woke up and I realized what just happened. And I kind of just stood and like looked at her for a moment because I was just trying to figure out what had happened. And so then I got up and I realized that, oh my God, I just blacked out. Like I just passed out because I was so out of breath. And so then I got into my car and I drove probably about 30 feet maybe. I didn't drive too long. I just drove to the side of the road, and then I'm like, I can't drive. Like my vision's kind of gone. It's really blurry. And then I just remember just bawling. Like I was crying so bad, and I called my mom and I just could not stop crying, and I was trying to explain what happened to her and I just couldn't. Like I was having a panic attack. That's what my mom said. And I was just trying so hard to tell her what happened and that I needed somebody to come get me because I couldn't drive, because I was scared to drive because I didn't want to get into an accident. And so as I was on the phone with my mom, actually, I think that the neighbor's mom came up and she was like, hey, do you want me to call the police? Like, do you want me to get you some water? And mind you, like, I was still crying and I was still like panicking and just trying to realize what just happened. And the girl, and I'm like, no, I'm fine, thank you. I'm on the phone with my mom. She's gonna come and get me. My parents were out of Goose Egg, so it was probably about a 15-20 minute drive for them to come in. I had to also call my boss because I told her, and I was still crying when I was on the phone with my boss. I called her. I'm like, hey Brandy, I can't. I'm like, I just passed out. My parents are taking me to the hospital. I'm not coming back to the store. I'm gonna get a ride home. She's like, okay, just have your brother come and hand me your receipt so I can get you clocked out and activate you. And that's just basically what the phone call was. It wasn't really that important or long or anything. I think I was on the phone with her for like 20 seconds because I was still crying while I was on the phone with her. But so then my parents came, and at that time I was kind of starting to come through, and I wasn't really crying anymore. But as soon as I saw my parents, I started crying again. And then my dad lifted me out of my car because I was afraid to walk because I didn't want to fall again. He lifted me and carried me out to their car. I just felt so exhausted. Like I'm just like, I just need to sleep. I don't want to do anything else besides take a nap. I was throwing up, and we finally got a hold of one of the nurse coordinators. Because I had thrown up, she's like, no, that means you have a head trauma, so you need to go to the hospital and get checked out, see if you have a concussion. My parents drove me to the hospital. I got into the bed. I was still really, really exhausted. That's all I remember, was just being exhausted and just being really out of it. They got a scan of my head and they got a scan of my knee, and they also flushed me with like anti-nausea medication, and then they also just pumped me up with a bunch of fluids as well. After all the tests, they came in and told me that I had a mild concussion and that my knee was fine. My mom ended up driving me back to my apartment. So then they told me that just the next day, just rest. And that's what I've been doing today. I haven't been getting up because my neck and the back of my head is very sore. Part of me is like, this is really serious. And then the other part of me just wants to like laugh about it, because like how funny is you're just randomly walking and you see the pizza delivery person just on the sidewalk, just like, what are they doing? So half of me thinks it's funny, and then half of me is like, no, that was really scary, because I did have an extreme panic attack afterwards. I was crying probably for about 45 minutes straight, just trying to catch my breath, but I was crying, so I was out of breath. It was just rough, but probably will end up having to find another job, because that was super scary. I've never actually like passed out before, so I'm really scared, because I don't want that to ever happen to me again. I completely blacked out, and I don't know how long I was on the ground for, to be honest with you. I'm just really grateful that somebody found me and that somebody helped me. After that, I put the hot bag back in my car, and I just sat in my car and waited for my parents to come and get me. Yeah, so that's what happened. That happened yesterday, May 31st, 2021. Like I said before, I have gotten to the point where I was really out of breath and kind of feeling lightheaded, but I've never passed out before. And normally when that happens, I just sit in my car and I just rest for a little bit. I close my eyes. Like normally I'll try to put my hand on my head so all the pressure is off of it, so I can kind of just like lay down and close my eyes and get my breathing down. And I'm so thankful for my parents for coming to get me and taking me to the hospital. That's just the reality of my situation. The reality is that I am getting worse, and I don't know, as much as I want to say that probably won't happen again. It probably will happen, and this is probably the first of many times that it will happen. I just hope that, I guess, that I'm not by myself the next time it happens. Thank you guys for watching. I just wanted to post this and just talk about the real side effects of pulmonary hypertension and the seriousness of it. It's a scary disease. Most of my videos are really lighthearted and really fun vlogs, and so this video is a little bit more serious, and I just felt like I needed to come on and say all of this just to help me cope with everything, because that's how I cope. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, warriors. Peace.